morning, everyone, and welcome to your final NTI day before spring break. I know you guys are really excited to get a break from all of this. So today is a beautiful day, so I hope that you can get your work done early this morning and then get outside and enjoy it. So for our final pre-algebra review day, we are going to be looking at our most recent unit, angle relationships. So hopefully this one will all come back to you pretty quickly. But I'll give you some tips here to help you through your review problems. As always, email me if you have any questions at all or if you need any help. Okay, so let's start out with our cheat sheet. So our cheat sheet here is going to go through the basics of angle relationships, everything that we talked about when we went through this unit. Here we have parallel lines cut by a transversal. This blue line here is the transversal. And then these peak lines are the parallel lines. And we've learned that whenever we have parallel lines cut by a transversal, that we are creating some congruent angle relationships, some supplementary angle relationships with that transversal. So when parallel lines are cut by a transversal, 8 different angles are formed. If you guys will recall, we know that these two right here, these two that I'm making blue, those are vertical. Vertical angles are congruent. These two are also vertical. These orange right here, this one and this one, this is what we call corresponding. Remember, corresponding, we're in matching corners, and those are also congruent. All right, this green right here that I'm making, these are alternate exterior. They are on the opposite side and on the outside. And let's do this bluish color here. These right here are alternate interior. They're on the opposite side, but on the inside. So those are all going to be your congruent angle relationships. Remember, a supplementary angle is any two angles that form a straight line. So if I add this angle to this angle, I'm going to get 180 degrees. So any two angles that form a straight line or add up to 180 degrees are going to be supplementary. Congruent means that they're going to be the same. So right here, if you forgot, here is all of the 4 types of angle pairs that we learned about. Here's your example of corresponding: alternate exterior, alternate interior, and vertical. All of those are congruent angles. They are all going to be the same angle measures. Over here, we have our interior and exterior angle rules. So remember, when we have interior angles, we know that all of these angles, when added together, will equal 180 degrees. So if I had angle A and angle B and angle C, I should get 180. If I'm missing one of them, let's say I was missing C, well, if I add A and B together and subtract them from 180, I would be able to find angle C, that missing angle. Our exterior angle theorem, remember, that means that if I add my 2 remote interiors, so the 2 that are farthest away from that exterior angle, if I add them together, they will equal the exterior angle. So adding this B and this C angle will equal this exterior angle D. Conversely, if I was missing this angle C, let's say I was missing this one. Well, if I subtract angle B from angle D, I would be able to find that missing remote interior angle. And the final thing we learned during this unit was that if 2 triangles have 2 pairs of corresponding angles that are congruent, the triangles are similar. So remember, our triangles can be 2 different sizes, like how this triangle is a little bit smaller than this one as far as side lengths go. However, they can still be considered similar triangles if their angle measures are the same. So if you find out that all of their corresponding angle measures are the same, if we can just at least get two of them, then we know the third one will have to be the same, because adding them all up should equal 180 degrees. Okay, so they are similar because they have different side lengths, but the same angle measures. They are not congruent because their side lengths are different. Okay, all right, let's head on over to today's practice problems and let me help you out with those. Remember, what happened there? Remember, you get 2 submission attempts. So if you don't do so well on the first one, you get to submit again. Okay. All right. I don't mean to have D selected. Just ignore that. Okay. 2 angles in a triangle measure 2.3x plus 25 and 5.8x plus 11. What is the value of x if the 2 angles are congruent? Okay, so if they're congruent, that means that they are what? They are equal. They are the same. So if they were equal, I need to take these 2 equations and set them equal to one another. Then solve for x. So draw your line, move variables to one side, move constants to the other, combine like terms if needed. You won't need to on this one. Then you need to make sure that you get all of your x's, all your variables on one side, all your constants on the other. Use inverse operations to isolate the variable and solve for x. All right, number 2. Line A and B below are parallel lines cut by transversal T. Which of the following equations could be used to find the value of x? Okay, so first of all, we have to ask ourselves, what kind of angles are those? I'm not going to tell you that because you can look at your cheat sheet if you've forgotten. But those 2 angles are either corresponding, vertical, alternate interior, or alternate exterior, and they are congruent. So just like number 1, the problem we just did, if they are congruent, which equation would you use to solve x? So this is just like number 1. Number 3, triangle JKL is shown below. Which of the following is not a true statement about the angles in the triangle? Okay, so what do we know about all interior angles of a triangle? And then based on that, which one of these statements is false? I'll go ahead and tell you, you are going to have to solve for x for this one. So in order to do that, I'll go ahead and tell you that A is a true statement. So A is not the correct answer, but A is how we will find the correct answer. So you need to take all the interior angles, add them together, and set them equal to 180 in order to solve for x. The first step in this one is going to be to combine like terms. So combine all of your variables, and then you're going to need to move constants and then isolate your variable. Solve for x. Then you'll substitute the value of x in here to figure out the measure of each angle so you can know which one of these statements is false. Number 4. So the top of Lucy's dining table is parallel to the floor as shown below. Using the 2 marked angles, write and solve an equation to find the value of x. So we're going to need to know, how are these 2 angles related to each other? So we've got our 2 parallel lines cut by a transversal. If you look at it like this, it probably helps you out a little bit more. So what you need to do is you need to figure out, how are these 2 angles going to be related? How are they going to be related? Well, you can look at it and kind of tell this is an acute angle and this is an obtuse angle. So they're not congruent. So if they're not congruent, then more than likely they're going to be supplementary. All right, Joe constructed triangle DCE where the angle of D is 103 degrees and the angle of C is 22 degrees. So always draw it, okay? We got triangle DCE where angle D is 103 and angle C is 22. Remy constructed triangle PQT where angle Q is 22 and angle T is 55. Are the two triangles similar? So what you're going to have to do, knowing that all three angles inside of a triangle would equal 180, you're going to have to find the value of the missing angle to figure out if they have all the same corresponding angles. And if they do, then it is a similar triangle. Number 6, lines C and D below are cut by a transversal T. Which of the following is true about the angles formed? So this one's saying which one of the angle options that it has here are congruent angles. Which one of these are congruent? Meaning which one of the options list angles that are the same. They have the same value. So you're looking either for a corresponding, you're looking for an alternate interior, you're looking for an alternate exterior, or you're looking for a vertical. Those are the ones that would be congruent or the same. Okay? Number 8. What is the measure of angle A, the exterior angle of the triangle below? Okay, so this one should be pretty quick for you guys because remember, alternate exterior angle theorem says that if I add the two remote interiors together, they will equal that exterior angle. All right, and then the last one. Lines X and Y are parallel lines cut by a transversal if the angle measure of angle 1 here is 4x minus 28, and angle 2 is x plus 68. Find the measure of angle 1 and angle 2. Well, what kind of angles are those? Are they corresponding, alternate interior, alternate exterior, vertical? Are they both obtuse angles here? Looks like it. So more than likely these are going to be congruent. So remember, when they are congruent, that means you set them equal. You're going to solve for x. And when you solve for x, you have to take it and substitute it into one of the equations to find the measure of angle 1. Since they're congruent, that means that whatever the measure of angle 1 is, the measure of angle 2 will be the same value. Okay? All right. I would love to hear from you guys. So send me an email. Let me know what you guys have been doing, how you're doing. Let me know if you have any questions or if you need any help. Even if you need help over spring break, I'll still answer your questions. Okay? I love you guys. Have a great day. Enjoy this warm weather this weekend and stay safe and healthy. Bye.